So I dare say I don't remember this movie coming out. I was alive, but it just wasn't on my radar for whatever reason. But it had to have been a much anticipated release coming from both Kubrick and King. Like, I can't imagine that in 1980, because as popular Stephen King is today, I remember him being even more popular when I was a little kid. Like, his books were hot and they were fresh, and wow. But then this movie seems like it disappointed a lot of people when they went to see it in the theaters. I've heard that it didn't do as well as they'd hoped financially, and it didn't do as well with the audiences right away anyway.
And Stephen King didn't like it either.
Oh, no. No, he didn't. Has anyone seen his version that's more faithful that came out on TV like in the
Yeah,
90s?
yeah.
I hear it's not very good.
It's not very good.
I've never read the book, so I can't say personally what's different or better. I've only seen The Shining from Kubrick, but I've seen it like probably 10 times over the course of my life, and I just saw it again last night in 4K in my home theater. And man, this one of the reasons I love movies is because they can take you somewhere and they can make you feel things. And when you're trapped in the Overlook Hotel with a blizzard outside and Jack Nicholson's nuts probably going to kill you, and there's like a dog blowing a businessman in one room, and this woman with flesh rotting off her body in a bathtub in another room, and those creepy little girls in the blue dresses are popping up, and you're trapped with all that snow. The Shining has a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It has a vibe. And the older I get, the more I like the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do I feel? What do I want the movies to make me feel tonight? Tonight, I want to be trapped in the Overlook Hotel with Shelley Duvall trying to get away from Jack Nicholson.
That's fair. Plus,
And-
I'd go just for the maze.
And the maze, yeah. So I guess we should try and synopsize the movie just a teensy bit. It's about a guy who's looking for a job, a family man, a father, goes to this hotel, agrees to be the caretaker for 6 months, because this hotel's in like on a mountaintop in Colorado, where 6 months out of the year you can't reach it. The winding roads are become unnavigable because of the weather. So for 6 months, he and his wife, he is played by Jack Nicholson. Jack, I think is his character's name, isn't it? Torrance?
Yes, Jack Torrance.
And Shelley Duvall plays his wife and their little boy, Danny is the character name,
Yeah.
I think. And early in the film, you learn Danny has an imaginary friend named Tony, who lives in his mouth, but sometimes lives in his stomach and talks like when his finger wiggles like this. That's Tony talking. Red room, red room. So early on, you get the feeling that there's something supernatural with the kid. And once they get to the hotel, they meet a man who's the cook at the hotel, played by Scatman Crothers, who appeared with Jack Nicholson just a few years earlier in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Scatman Crothers knows that the boy has this shining ability, is what he calls it, because he also has it. And basically, from that point early in the film on, you know that the hotel is haunted and it's going to affect this boy in ways that might be scary. And sure enough, the boy starts seeing those two little girls who died in this hotel at the hands of their father decades earlier, many decades. And sure enough, the hotel haunts Jack Nicholson. They get into him. He starts to live the life of the previous caretaker many decades before, who picked up an axe and killed his whole family. And Shelley Duvall eventually realizes what's going on. And the last half of this movie is her just screaming and crying and trying to save her and her son from dad, dear old dad, who's now insane. And it's a beautiful film. It's a Stanley Kubrick film, so you know it's going to be.
Yeah.
It probably bears mentioning that Jack Torrance is a writer or a wannabe author who is writing like the great American novel, and he's also a recovering alcoholic. And Stephen King a lot of times made these main characters kind of autobiographical, and Stephen King was also an author at the time who was battling alcoholism, and
he also hurt the boy.
Yeah.
Early in the film, when a doctor comes to see Danny because he passed out from an episode involving Tony,
Yeah.
Shelley admits to the doctor that Jack Nicholson, just in a little bit of a fit of rage, grabbed him by the arm and dislocated his shoulder. So you get the idea early on that domestic violence is an issue that's probably going to come up in this movie. As much as I love The Shining, I will criticize it a little bit, but I'm not even sure that. Sometimes when I criticize a movie, I'm not sure if I were making it, I would have done it any differently. Sometimes I would have just left the thing I'm criticizing in the movie, and this might be one of those cases, but Jack Nicholson is bad the whole time. He's never a good father.
He's not. He doesn't have any redeeming qualities in this movie, really.
He doesn't. You never see him have a good moment, even at the beginning before while they're on the way to the hotel. He's condescending to both of them in the car.
And he's got those Jack Nicholson eyebrows the whole time, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like while he's driving.
So, like, there's a part of me that says, well, he should have, like, a full character. Like, you should feel sorry for him. It should be more like Amityville Horror, where the possessed father figure is a good person and something bad happens to him that maybe makes him worth saving. But Kubrick didn't want to go that way. Jack's bad from beginning, and he just gets worse. And I guess that's a way to go. Maybe it's more original.
I don't think you need it. I don't think you need it. I think that that's part of why you see why Shelley Duvall's character is so effective. It's like we know in the beginning she's already kind of dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? It's from a happier point of view and everything's okay, you know. But as we go through it, I think the fact that we kind of know, oh, he's probably gonna go nuts. You know? And then watching her deal with that and try to calm it down and try to level it down, you know, until she can't.
Yeah. This movie, the making of it, is its own thing. And there have been many books and not enough documentaries probably, although in recent years there's been a number.
I'll tell you what, I watched that Room 217.
I couldn't watch it.
It's full of shit, man.
Yeah, it looked like it.
It's full of shit.
237, I think, is the number.
237, yes. Sorry.
There's a whole lot of weird esoteric theories about this movie, and some of them do make you like go, huh. A lot of coincidences, but I'm not sure that they really ultimately carry that much weight in helping you to appreciate the film anymore. But Kubrick is famous for doing lots and lots of takes. Like, simple scenes would take weeks to shoot. They say that Shelley Duvall had to get backed up that staircase 100 times. Another story said it was 50 to 60 times. But still, having to be backed up a staircase, swinging a bat and crying at Jack Nicholson, who's yelling at you 50 to 60 times in a row. And the film was only supposed to be a 6-month shoot, and it ended up taking a full year to shoot. And they shot in chronological order. So when you think about that, you think about Shelley Duvall in chronological order. That means for 6 freaking months she was screaming and crying and hyperventilating and running around. And Vivian Kubrick made a documentary that makes Shelley Duvall look so bad. And I am happy that I have read I've seen other documentaries lately of people who investigated, and they said Vivian Kubrick kind of did Shelley Duvall dirty in that documentary. Because she wasn't a diva. She was crying and running and screaming and hyperventilating for 6 months.
And by all other accounts, Stanley Kubrick really tormented her, you know, in seeking, you know, realistic performances. Yeah.
He had 2 cast crew members to be nice to her. All the rest of the cast and crew were told to ignore her or not be nice to her because he thought it would help the performance. She said several times she loved the experience. She wouldn't trade it for the world. She respects Stanley Kubrick, but she also says it was the hardest thing she ever did. And she's not one of my favorite actresses. I don't think I hate to criticize her performance, and I'm not really criticizing it, but it's not one of my favorite things about the movie either. She's not
great
bad.
Olive oil.
She was... Yeah, I guess so. But she's good in the movie for sure. When I think of some other actors today, they maybe could have done as good a job or better. But man, The Shining still works today. And I know a lot of the kids would call it a bit of a slow burn again. I hate those kids.
It's another one though, ghost story. You know what I mean? It's a ghost story. You got to have a bit of a slow burn there if it's going to be effective.
I especially love when the ghosts from the hotel, like the guy behind the bar and the guy in the bathroom, talk to Jack Nicholson. They have the vibe. They have the vibe. But what is the man in the dog costume blowing the businessman? What is that about? Does anyone have insight?
Know what that's about.
What?
I think we all know what that's about, Scott.
I don't.
Well, I mean, I think it's
other than
let's
just
like anyway. But
it doesn't. I mean, it's weird.
No, it is very strange, but I think it's just in that instance meant to, weird you out with how unusual this is. That old woman though, the old woman in the bathtub. I think it was Steve Johnson who was talking about. I'm going to get it wrong, but anyway, the point is that it's like plastic wrap on her legs, and then they used colored shaving cream to like go down and just kind of seep down through the tubes of saran wrap in her legs. And or like they had it wrapped around, and then it's got wrinkles, and then the shaving cream kind of wiggled its way down, so when she steps out of the tub like that, and you can see all those veins and stuff, it's colored shaving cream under plastic. Kind of yeah,
it's nice when they achieve that stuff with over-the-counter materials. So The Shining is a movie, and the music too. I know Wendy Carlos did a little original stuff, but it mostly uses classical music. When I was watching the credits last night, I saw Penderecki and Ligeti. He used Ligeti in 2001, and he used him again in The Shining. But man, the score, the music, the classical music, it all works so well. This movie without music wouldn't be nearly as creepy. But this movie, I give it a 9 out of 10. Like, it's a classic for sure. Everyone needs to see at some point if they haven't already. Anybody else want to give it a score?
I would also give it a 9.
I'd give it an 8.
8?
Yeah.
Ben, have you seen it?
I have seen it, and you're not going to like it.
Uh-oh.
So, I mean, if you leave out the mystique of the production and the laurels of Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick, I mean, I feel like you just have a basic ghost story. And when I watched it, I'm like, and I finished it, I was like, what is this? What is it that people absolutely love about this film? And they say this film's so terrifying. In my mind, I'm like, what does this film do that? And you're gonna hate this, Scott. That Amityville Horror doesn't do. Did you get that last part of the clip?
Yes, I did. I knew it was coming. That's why you got this.
I mean, if you think about it, the two films are very similar. But
well, right before you said that dumb thing, I was about to tell you that if nothing else, this is a much better version of the Amityville Horror, which sucks.
Okay, let me put it this way. I feel like The Shining is a film that it matters a lot what you're bringing into it in terms of what scares you. For me, it's almost like typical Tuesday in northern Michigan. You get snowed in and domestic violence or what have you.
Oh my God.
What the?
I just, for me, it's, I don't know. It's Amityville had just more creepy imagery for me than just two girls standing in the hallway.
I've seen both recently. Amityville's not nearly as well executed. With Stanley Kubrick, a lot of it's just in the execution. It's so fucking sleek and polished and purposeful and designed just right.
Yeah, technically speaking, it's a great film. I mean, it's beautiful.
But all that creates a tone. All of that creates a vibe.
Here's something though: is like The Shining. To me, isn't sad.
Not really.
It's creepy, it's eerie, it's whatever. It's not sad. The Amityville Horror is fucking sad.
sadder.
It's sad.
It didn't make me cry. It made me happy when the
Well, it didn't
credits
make me
rolled.
cry, but I'm saying like you come away from that with such a. I mean, that's something. I feel like you come away from the Amityville Horror with a sense of loss that you don't
A
necessarily.
loss of 2 full hours of time.
Yeah, you saw where I was going with the joke.
I
No,
don't
that's not true.
get that movie.
I do. I think you come away with more of a sense of loss than you do from this. From
Sure.
The Shining, but
Sure.
you know,
I'll agree with that. They do ultimately have a different emotional end to
Yeah.
them.
I will give The Shining a 7 because I love the technical aspects of it are great.
All right.
But just in terms
As
of
long
the
as it's
scare
a
and the
6 or
story,
higher, I will let you live.
Yeah, I think a 7's completely acceptable.
that's acceptable.
And I'll also say this is a movie that's grown on me over the years. I could take it or leave it when I was younger. Like, it's just in recent years when I've watched it over and over again. What makes me want to watch it over and over again? I mean, that alone speaks for something, other than the fact that I have issues remembering movies. But anyway, we've talked about The Shining a bunch. Got to slap Ben a few times. That's always fun. We will
Robert
now...
and 1313. I haven't seen Doctor Sleep. I don't know if any of these guys have seen Doctor Sleep.
I
but it's
liked
on
it.
The list.
Yeah, I liked
It's-
it too.
surprisingly good. If you have to make a sequel to The Shining, let it be Doctor Sleep. Not bad at
right.
all. And that woman,
Okay.
the woman, well, who's the actress in that plays the main villain, who's in Dune as Lady Jessica? I can't remember her name right now. She's really good in it. She's a very good villain. Robert got to walk the sets of Doctor Sleep.
Awesome.
Walked all through the Overlook Hotel sets. Oh, neat, Robert. It must have been shot in Atlanta because Robert works on film crews down there.